Chooch, back with another video. Today, I'm getting into a updated electric unicycle buyer guide. We're looking at the eWheels website right here. Now, I really recommend eWheels, guys, when it comes to buying electric unicycles. You see, they got all the latest models out right now. They've been in the game the longest when it comes to electric unicycles, and they offer a warranty. I'm seeing a lot of people, on forums and stuff like that, people trying to say, oh, should I get it from, AliExpress, whatever it may be. Get from somebody that offers a warranty, okay? So all the folks I have below in the links, they offer warranties. And, I'm highlighting eWheels right here. They have top-notch service, guys. Fast shipping. You'll get these wheels in 2 to 3 days from the time you place your order. That's what you want. This is an impeccable service and fast shipping. Let's get into it, guys. This is the eWheels website. This is what it'll look like when you go to the website right here. If you want to shop and get your electric unicycle, right here, anywhere in the United States, guys, they'll ship to you within literally, it'll be to your door within a week, usually within 2 to 3 days, okay? So this is the top-notch place to buy electric unicycles. And a lot of people know that, but I'm just letting, any new buyers know this is where you want to get it from. Let's get into it and check these out. This right here, guys, is the newest wheel that's pretty much come out that's on the web, guys. This is the Veteran Lynx, or the Leprochem Lynx. This is awesome. Now, this is going to be Leprechem's race wheel. Now, I'm telling you, that's not anything official, but I'm telling you this is exactly what this is. This is Leprechem's race wheel. And this is 2,700 watt hours, guys, and it's going to be 151 volts, okay? So this thing is, you see that it's a slim profile right here. It's not going to be anything exorbitantly heavy, not like a 3,600 watt hour wheel, 2,700 watt hours, but it's going to be fast, guys. 151 volts, and this thing is going to haul ass, okay? It's going to be $3,700, but this whole next year, mark my word on it, guys, whether it be on-road or off-road, all race circuits, if you got the money for it, this is going to be the go-to wheel. I can just tell you that, dude. 151 volts, no other way to put it than this is a top-notch race wheel. Now, it'll be great for people that don't want to race as well, but this is what this thing's for. Now, if you want to get a range wheel, of course, you got the Sherman S right here. But the Sherman S is 100 volts. So this thing's going to be like a rocket ship, this Veteran Lynx, compared to something like this. But this will just go farther. If you're somebody that just wants range, this is what you want to go with, okay? Now, the Veteran Patton, this is just a smaller version of this wheel, pretty much. This one has a 20-inch wheel right here. This is a 20-inch electric unicycle. So the actual outer diameter of the whole thing is probably around 21.5 inches, okay? So this is the little guy, still the Veteran Patton. This is a little trail riding wheel right here, which I think is still a great option. I actually wanted to buy a Veteran Patton. I reached out to Jason from eWheels the other day. I was like, hey man, I want to buy a Sherman S or a Veteran Patton. That's what I literally reached out and said to him. He's like, hey, I got something better for you. The Veteran Lynx is going to be coming out soon. I'm going to get you one. So I'm going to be reviewing the Lynx, guys. I'm going to be reviewing this, and I have high hopes for it. It's going to be sweet. I hope. Another wheel that's absolutely fantastic, or I think is going to be fantastic. I shouldn't say anything yet. But this wheel right here is my most highly anticipated wheel, pretty much since electric unicycles. Since I've been into the hobby, guys, this wheel right here, I'm telling you, is going to be awesome. So the Inmotion Adventure, they've been working on this wheel for a while. People have been following it. You know all about it. It's not going to be made to be the fastest wheel in the world. It's not going to be made to be the longest range, but it has a 4,000 watt motor, guys. It's going to be incredibly torquey. It's going to be 2,400 watt hours, which is a sweet spot for range and weight. It's not going to be too heavy, and it's not going to, it's not going to go forever like a 3,600 watt hour wheel, but it still does exactly what most people are going to want when it comes to an electric unicycle. 2,400 watt hours is absolutely more than enough for what most people are going to ride in a day. I promise you that. So this wheel right here is going to be, it's going to be a smaller type wheel. It's going to be like the size of the T4, the size of the Extreme. It's going to be like a smaller type wheel, but this is going to be the trail beast, guys. And it's not going to be just for trails. I think that's kind of one thing that's mistaken about this wheel. This is going to be like a do-it-all type wheel that I think is going to be an incredible build quality. It's going to be an extremely high quality product. I mean, The Inmotion V13, guys, there's nothing that matches that right now. I'm telling you, I love the Inmotion V13. That is the go-to wheel for me. I absolutely love that machine. I really do, and it is top quality, and I think this one will be too. So if you want to get a wheel, if you've been eyeballing the V13 or a V12 or anything like that, I'm telling you guys, this one is going to be awesome. Inmotion has not let me down. My V12 high speed works fine. My V12 high torque works fine. I rode that just the other day. I ride my V12 high torque almost every day, by the way. That's like, I keep that one in my truck and use that as my commuter wheel, my V12 high torque. So, and the V13 still works perfectly fine, guys. And I'm hard on my wheels, and they all are great. So, I absolutely think this one's going to be incredible. Final price on this one's going to be $32.99, guys. So you put your $500 deposit in. You can place your pre-order below. If you want to get any electric unicycle, guys, whether it be a pre-order or buying one, the link below for eWheels gives me a little kickback at no extra cost to you, and it helps me keep bringing you videos and rides and stuff like that. I like to be able to go to hotels and splurge on hotels sometimes at trails at the best riding spots ever, and I'll be able to keep doing that for you. I got a ride planned soon, so if you hit that link below, that's what it goes towards, and I really do put it towards that, and I really do appreciate it, guys, if you use that link. This wheel right here, I think is going to be priced fairly, guys. So this isn't exorbitant like the V13 when it came out. The V13 was $4,000 when it came out. This isn't exorbitant like that, but it's going to be a quality product. I can tell you that, guys, and I know it because they could have released this wheel, guys, a few months ago, but they've been waiting to get it all sorted out and get it right. And I really think that, you unbox this wheel, you have this wheel in your possession, you're going to love it, dude. This is an incredible piece of kit. This wheel is awesome. I mean, I don't even have it yet, but I can just tell you, you're going to be thrilled with it from what I've seen. This is the Inmotion V11Y. Wheel I recommend for people that may want to get their first electric unicycle, but they want to get suspension. The Inmotion V11 would be the wheel I would recommend. Now, the V11Y, guys, is just a upgraded version of the V11. You have a little bit different styling on it. You have to have the orange on the new electric unicycles. If it doesn't have orange on it, it doesn't qualify. So they updated it, gave it a little orange bumper, a little orange, flare on the side right here. They did upgrade the control board. The control board is better. Inmotion's components, I'm telling you, are top notch. Their control boards, the way they wire everything, it's all clean, it's nice, it's top quality. So they updated this, put some more capacitors in it, made it even better than the old V11. The motor is a lot more torquey. Look at this. Big boost there. Motor's more powerful now with a 7 kilowatt peak power on this, so just a more powerful motor, which is going to handle, because people were off-roading this wheel, guys. Went to a race, and a guy was racing a V11. He was actually racing a Inmotion V11 with a knobby tire on it. And so the reason they've updated this, guys, is because people started really off-roading this thing hard. And it's a great wheel. The suspension can hold up to some incredibly hard off-roading, but I think what was happening is just the power wasn't necessarily strong enough for like that hard braking on the trails and stuff. So this is just updated now, and I think that's all they needed to do. I mean, the V11 is a great wheel, and I think upgrading that motor power for that hard braking when you're coming down trails is perfect. And it's faster now. The V11Y is faster, guys. The Inmotion V11, I'm telling you, when I first got this wheel and I first did the testing, you can look at my videos, I took this thing on some crazy mountain roads. I was coming down, flying down the canyon roads, and I felt like I was going literally top speed on this, and I was getting all the way up to where it was tilting back sometimes, which is kind of sketchy. And I wanted a little bit more top speed out of this wheel. It didn't need much more. It needed a little bit more. And that's what they did. They added a little bit more top speed to it. So see that? About 6 mile per hour improvement right there, which is great. It's only 4 more pounds heavier. So I don't think they added any more capacity to it. 1,500 watt hours, guys, at 84 volts. You might look at 1,500 watt hours and be like, oh, that's not much in there. But this is only 84 volt wheel, guys. So it really works out. You can get a lot of range out of a V11. I got a ton of range. Whenever I demoed the V11, I loved it, and I went on some very long rides. And it's just because at 84 volts, it's not burning through a bunch of battery. So I definitely recommend this wheel, and I think at $2,400, this updated V11, is definitely a great option. If you want to get a suspension wheel and you don't want to break the bank, I think it's a great wheel. I would love to have one. I really would, and I would enjoy it. Even having the faster wheels and everything, I would find a place to ride this, and I would really enjoy it. If I had money coming out of my ears, I would still buy one. I think this is a incredible option. You put it this way, guys. If you want a beginner wheel out there, this one's been refined. This one's been around for a while, and now this is even the updated version, hitting all the refinements that people wanted. So I'm telling you, this right here is a great option for a first wheel, for sure, right here. Now let's get down here into the Begode Extreme, guys. Now, Begode Extreme, I've done my reviews on this wheel. I'm going to keep it short on this right here. The Begode, this wheel, if you want to get this one, guys, don't get the 1920 watt hour. I know this is what E-Wheels is selling, and this is completely backwards for me to promote E-Wheels and then them only have this one in stock. But, dude, it's not enough, bro. You need more than, on a wheel like this with the C40 motor, you have to get, and they make a 2400 watt hour version of this wheel. E-Wheels just doesn't sell it right now. I'm going to be real with you guys. Even though I'm promoting E-Wheels, I just would not recommend buying the Begode Extreme at 1920 watt hours, guys. This thing with the C40 motor, guys, and being 1920 watt hours, it really it eats through it. It eats through the battery so fast. If you ride at any type of speed anywhere, it will just shred through it. I think it's a fun wheel. The build quality is great on this thing, guys. It really is a sweet looking wheel, but it's just, if you're going to get this wheel, get the 2400 watt hour version, and you can get that. I got the Alien Rides link below, E-Rides link, and Rev Rides link below if you want to check that out. So still great websites, guys. I'm just telling you, I'm showing you the E-Wheels website here, but all I'm saying is, I have the links below for all the other retailers, but I'm just saying, use the retailers. Don't go buying it from like Alibaba or something and go complain in the forums that you haven't got your wheel yet or don't have a warranty. Okay, so just use one of the retailers, dude. Like that, it's the way to go. The veteran Sherman S, guys, the people that have these wheels, they really like them, and it's a great long range wheel, guys. It's only 100 volts. The Leopard King Lynx that just came out is 151 volts. This one's only 100 volts, but it's 3,600 watt hours. If you want a good, comfortable range wheel, this is what you want to get right here. Comfortable. This is like the Cadillac of range wheels. You got that great suspension on this thing, and you can just cruise and get awesome range out of this machine. 3,600 watt hours, guys, is at the upper end of what electric unicycles offer when it comes to the range you can get out of it. And I'm telling you, 3,600 watt hours is a ton of battery, guys. That you can go a long way on 3,600 watt hours. Okay, so this right here still has its place, and I would still absolutely love to have one for sure. I was gonna buy. I'm telling you, I inquired about buying a Sherman S or a Patton, and then that's whenever I was told this baby was coming out. That was about a week ago. So I literally was going to buy one of these two wheels right here. I didn't have my mind made up yet, but I really won't, and I still think these are great options, because this isn't for everybody. This wheel is definitely not for everybody because it doesn't have as much range as this. And a lot of people want range. And so I think the Sherman S is one of the top wheels on this entire page. Out of everything on this page right here, I think this is one of the best options that's already out right now. Out of everything on this page, if I had one wheel just fly out of the sky and be like, hey, this would probably be the wheel I'd want right here, straight up. And it is the most expensive, I think, on the whole page. Isn't that ironic? But it's quality, man. You're getting a great wheel. It's expensive, $4,000 ain't cheap, but it's, 3,600 watt hours you can go forever, man. That's a lot of range. So, and then the veteran Patton, honestly, guys, this is I tried one the other day. The veteran patton is great. I mean, this thing is a little beast. The torque on this thing is insane. I was riding this thing around a single track the other day, and I would literally do that little kind of boost back where you hit the brakes on it, and it rooster tails way more stuff in front of it than the extreme. Like, this thing is kind of touchy almost every bump you go over, because if you're leaning back too far and that wheel starts to spin back, it just has crazy torque. Almost, it's because I wasn't used to it yet. I did one lap on a single track, and I was like, dude, I like this thing a lot, but it felt crazy powerful. It really did. It felt like it had some dog in it, dude. It felt like a little pit bull. It really did. I'm telling you, I love the patton. I tried it for one lap around out at the single track, and this thing is sweet, dudes. I love the power pad setup, how these are automatically installed right here, these little winglets right here. Dude, you can just yank up on those things and boost off jumps. It's awesome. And I think 2,220 watt hours, that's not a lot. You know, I was saying on the extreme at 1,920 watt hours that I wanted more. This has that little bit more that makes it reasonable, okay? This is not a long-range wheel, but it's reasonable, okay? And I think this is perfect for most people. The veteran patton is a sweet little wheel, okay? And I highly recommend it, for sure. This is a trail riding, do-it-all type of wheel. And I think it's even good, like, if you wanted to go all out and you just wanted to get, like, a top wheel out of the gate, which a lot of people are wanting to do, and not mess with getting a beginner wheel, because that's an extra $1,000 that you got to spend on a beginner wheel. Some people just want to get, you know, the best thing right out the gate. And I would recommend this one because it's not too heavy. When you're learning to ride an electric unicycle, you don't want something that's too top heavy. Like the big 20-inch wheels like the Sherman S, the V13, stuff like that, you know, they're great wheels, but they're just too top heavy to learn on. Something like the patton is going to give you that top performance of wheel. You know, you're getting something that's, you know, not cheap. You're getting the upper level of wheel, but you'll be able to learn on it easy because it's not too heavy. So it is a heavy wheel, but it's not too heavy like those other, you know, the Sherman S, V13, stuff like that. But you'll like this, and Leprechaun or Veteran, whatever you want to call it, they are a top quality company, just like Inmotion. All right, guys, so getting over here to the Kingsong S19, the person out there that wants a suspension wheel that's not going to be like the top high-performance suspension wheel. This is the person out there that's like a city, like, in my eyes, I see this as the suspension city commuter wheel. This not like for extremely like aggressive riding or anything like that. Just the cruising city commuter type, elegant, nice, nice for Kingsong type wheel out there. And at, 2750, you get 1,440 watt hours, 40 T cells right here, which isn't a lot, guys. This 1,440 watt hours is on the low end when it comes to your battery power. This wheel is not very fast, but it does have suspension, and it's not too heavy. It's only 70 pounds is not heavy for a suspension wheel. So that's why I say this wheel is like, if you want just a non-aggressive city commuter wheel that has suspension that's not too heavy and not too big, then this is your go-to. And I think, I don't think it's a bad option. So I haven't personally tried it. I did try the Kingsong S18. I tried that when it first came out. The Kingsong S18 had less power, had less watt hours, but I still really enjoyed that wheel, guys. The Kingsong S18 definitely now is underpowered for sure. But when it first came out, it was like one of the only suspension wheels when it first came out, and I really enjoyed it. And I definitely had my fun with it. And it, these specs aren't the highest, but I still think still think that most people out there, if you just want to get an entry-level suspension wheel, these two right here are great options. I think, like, when it comes to entry-level new suspension wheels, these are two really good options, the Inmotion V11Y and the S19. Let's look at the price difference. The V11Y is $2,400. let's see, S19 is about 28. If it was up to me between these two, I would definitely get the V11Y. I'm gonna be real with you. You got a little bit more watt hours in this one. Look, a little bit more watt hours in this one. The motor is 1,000 less watts on the motor, but I think this is a better deal. I think the Inmotion V11Y is a better deal than the Kingsong S19 for sure. All right, now the Extreme Bull Commander Mini, guys. This wheel, I've been seeing a lot of this little thing. I personally don't have an Extreme Bull Commander Mini, but I think this wheel, from what I can tell, it looks pretty good. From what I can tell, from the videos I've seen, from the stuff I've seen, this is a wheel I would definitely be interested in getting. I would, and at $27.99, $2,800, I think this is priced right. I can't tell you exactly, but I would get it. From what I've seen, I think it looks awesome. It looks like a quality wheel. Extreme Bull. The only wheel I've ever had from Extreme Bull was the Commander. The original Extreme Bull Commander, and that was the 3,600 watt hour wheel, and I liked it. I really did. That thing's powerful. It had great range on it. The whole build quality on it was pretty good. I think that the Commander Mini at 2,400 watt hours, it has suspension. It has the slider suspension in it, 134 volts. I think the slider suspension mechanism, guys, is a little bit more durable when it comes, because it's not exposed in the back. So when you look at like the Begode Extreme, you got that linkage back there that can bend, and any type of wreck, you can end up damaging that. It's a lot. That's why the V13, man, is like a tank. Y'all saw how aggressive I rode the V13. This is like, and I bet that nobody's really done this comparison. This is like a miniature V13. If you have seen the V13 and you've seen the videos of it, and you want to get something like that without spending V13 type of money, and you want to get something a little bit smaller, from what I can tell, this would probably ride like a miniature V13. Same type of suspension setup. It looks like a rock solid design in this thing. 2,400 watt hours is almost as much watt hours as the V13 actually has. It's the same voltage as the V13. So this right here is like a miniature affordable V13. And, that's me from everything I've seen, after riding Unicycle since 2015. Not personally having hands on it, but from everything I've seen, I can tell you this looks like a pretty good option, man. And 3,200 watt C38 motor in this thing, and they're in batch 2 now, so everything's been refined. I think this is a great option. I don't think it's overpriced. I think it's definitely a fairly priced little machine right here, and I would want to buy one. The whole thing about the EX30, guys, I'd rather have the Inmotion V13. I think this has 600 more watt hours, guys, but I would much rather have the V13. The V13 is more of a quality product. The pedals are higher. The pedals on the EX30 are just way too low, guys. The V13 looks like it'd be way better off-road. It looks like it wouldn't even be a question. Like if you had an off-road course or off-road trail, and it was two, of the same skilled riders, I think the V13 would absolutely dominate any type of off-road stuff. Now, when it comes to on-road, that's arguable. I don't know. I think on-road stuff, like the V13 has a higher top speed, higher, safer top speed, arguably, than the EX30. And, a good rider on the V13 could smoke anybody on the EX30. I firmly believe that. I really do. So I would much rather have the V13 over the EX30 any day. Any day. I really would. It's a way higher quality product. It's faster, better off-road. I wouldn't consider buying the EX30. So put it that way. The Extreme Bull Commander Pro, I think would be a great, fantastic wheel. I don't see anything wrong with this. The experience I had with the first Extreme Bull Commander, the original Extreme Bull Commander that came out, was great. Absolutely had no problems with it. Through all my testing, I loved it. So I think this would be a phenomenal product right here. And Extreme Bull isn't overpricing their stuff, guys. They're fair, man. They're pricing their stuff to compete, man. So let's see. You can do, look at this. That's $3,000, and then what? 3,600 watt hours, 134 volts. Right at $3,000, and it's a fast wheel, a lot of range, has suspension. I mean, dude, I would love to try one of these, and I would definitely consider buying one for sure. So this definitely goes to my list. Extreme Bull, I got to get my hands on something from them. One of their new wheels, because they look great. I mean, they really do. And from what I've seen, the people that are getting the new Extreme Bull stuff they're really liking it. So, all right, now we're getting down here to the T4. Now, my opinion on the T4 is this, guys. I think so. The original T4 that I tested out, I got the batch 1 T4 when it first came out, and unfortunately, I had the stator slippage issue. Basically, the inside of the motor and the outside of the motor just completely discombobulate and cause the whole thing to fry. So it was a stator slipper. It was an early issue with the batch 1 that I had, and I think they've sorted that out. So from what I can tell now, the people that are getting the T4, they're happy with it. Everybody that I've seen that has gotten the T4, guys, the new batch within the past year, I've seen just really good, positive stuff about it, which is great, guys, because this is a affordable wheel. This is a affordable wheel, and a lot of people out there are looking for something that is affordable. But I just, because I had that stator slippage issue, and because I haven't had, the absolute most impeccable, run with Begode products, guys, I think it's a good price. And if you want to go with it, go with it. And you can get your knob, you can pick your street tire, whatever it may be. But 1,440 watt hours is not a lot, guys. This is on the absolute low end of power. I mean, you're not going to be able to do a lot of miles on this at all. And this thing, it's going to suck battery down. If you're an aggressive rider and you're riding on the street and you're, actually hard accelerating, hard braking, and really ripping, you're going to see this thing get drained quick. Now, if you're a specific trail rider that doesn't really go too fast and just likes to cruise trails, this is going to be a nimble wheel with suspension with a low price, and you'll be able to get plenty of range out of it if you're not flying everywhere. If you're just cruising some trails and some dirt paths and whatever it may be, 1,440 watt hours, that's plenty. But I'm telling you, it's not a lot. I complained about 1,900 watt hours on the Extreme, and this is way lower than that. So that's one thing I'd keep in mind. And the T4 is just appealing to a lot of people because it's priced low. But this is just one. The reason it's priced low is because it's real low on the watt hours, guys. And I want you to keep that in mind. So, and that can be dangerous, man. You go out and you run this thing low, and you're still trying to ride fast. It can be dangerous. So keep that in mind. The Kingsong S22 Pro. Now this wheel right here, guys, this wheel it's not bad. It's not a bad wheel by any means. Is it the greatest wheel? Not really. Is it probably the best wheel for doing big jumps right now? Yeah. It's the best wheel you can get for in the stock format. If you're a guy that wants to do big jumps and you want to ride really aggressive trails, I'm talking mountain bike trails. I mean, and most mountain bike trails now, they do have big drops and stuff, guys. So for most hardcore mountain bike trails that are like black diamonds or even a blue, a blue mountain bike trail, I would be more comfortable in the S22 Pro than a lot of wheels, simply because the suspension setup, you got a lot of travel, you got that huge coil, guys. You see the coil on the back of the S22, it's way longer than any other stock suspension out there, guys, and it's forgiving. The best way I can explain the S22 Pro, guys, is the most forgiving electric unicycle out there. You can hit, there's one day, guys, I came over a jump and I didn't know what was on the other side of the jump like an idiot. I was doing some hardcore urban riding, and I jumped over this grassy hill, and the other side, I thought the other side was just grass on the other side. But this shows exactly why I like the S22 Pro. The other side had these big stairs. I'm talking like, dude, these like concrete stairs that were like this big. They weren't really stairs, like decoration. And it was, I mean, dude, like a pit, like literally like a pit of stairs on the other side. And I came flying over that hill, and on any other wheel, I would have bailed because I just know there's no way the wheel could have handled it, and it would have been a disaster. I would have just cut my losses and crashed. With the S22, guys, with that big suspension, I came over it, and I just stayed on the wheel, and I literally landed hard, like on the face of one of those stairs, and just went right down it, guys. And I'm telling you, it was like I had moon shoes on. And this is one of the just absolutely most forgiving EUCs out there. And I'm telling you, if you want a plush suspension wheel for hardcore riding, big jumps, riding downstairs, doing some urban sins where you're going off some ledges and stuff, and you're a heavier set person, this is what you're going to want to go with, guys. And I know, again, 1,770 watt hours, guys, isn't a lot. I complained about the 1,900 watt hours, again, on that extreme recently, guys. And it's just because look, with these 4,000 watt motors, guys, and then having under 2,000 watt hours, for most people, you're just not going to be impressed by that range. You're not. I hate to say it, guys. So if you're not getting this just to take to the bicycle jump park, and that if you're taking this to the jump park, that's perfect because it does not use a lot of battery. You could spend sun up to sundown at a bicycle jump park, just doing run after run on this because you're not using a ton of battery. And then you can ride trails all day, etc. But you start taking this thing on the road and you're doing any type of range with speed, and this thing's just going to disappoint you. So keep that in mind. Now, the Kingsong S18. Now, this right here is this wheel is absolutely the most underpowered wheel on the website, guys. I said I reviewed it and I liked it, but I got this when this was the first suspension electric unicycle out, and they have not improved the watt hours on this wheel, guys. You see this 903 watt hours. This wheel right here, I had one of my worst crashes ever on it. I love the wheel up until I had one of my worst crashes ever on it. I guess as a pattern, but for mediocre, if you're just getting into the hobby, guys, you want a suspension wheel, I would go with something like the V11 over this wheel because this wheel is extremely underpowered, guys, and especially if you're heavier than I am, this thing can be dangerous. It really can, guys, because it is underpowered. One day I went to accelerate, guys, on this wheel. I was literally at like a intersection, and I got the green light, and I had some cars behind me, and at this time I had been riding the M Super Pro. So the M Super Pro came out, and then this came out. This was about that same time, like in, I think, early 2019 when this came out, or like late 2018. I'm not too sure. But anyways, I was used to riding the M Super Pro, and then I got on this, and I went to hard accelerate across the road, guys, and I literally just leaned on this thing to accelerate across the intersection, and I got, probably about 2 body lengths, and this thing just went boop and shut off on me, guys. And I had one of the I was wearing those terrible knee pads, just the skateboard knee pads, and they both slid up my knees, and I just cherried both my knees, dude. And it was because I just had a cutout, guys, and I was used to riding a more powerful electric unicycle, and I just went to lean hard into it, and it did not have the power. So at this price point, I honestly, and a lot of people that have this wheel like it, but I'm kind of going to go into the demographics of them real quick. A lot of people that have this wheel, guys, are just slower. They're just slower cruisers, man, whether it be an older folks or, just the slower type of rider out there that they want suspension, but they just want to cruise. They aren't all about speed. They aren't speed demons. They just want something that's not expensive, that has suspension, and they just want to be able to cruise. And, this is what it's for. And you don't have a lot of range on it, but it's lightweight, guys. This thing is easy to pick up. And before I completely dog it, let me just say this. This is the perfect wheel, perfect suspension wheel for kids, guys. if you want to get your kid riding and you want to get them up from like an M10-4, you want to move them up from like a small wheel like an M10-4, this is what you want to get your kids. And I'm telling you, it is a great kids wheel. Let me say that. It is an absolutely fantastic kids suspension wheel. But I wouldn't get this for somebody that's of an adult's weight. Let me put it that way. Great for, even up, to early teens. But I wouldn't get this for an adult's weight and actually be really riding it around for any type of range riding or any type of hard trail riding or anything like that. It can be done. But with the way people are moving towards with EUCs now and how people are seeing other people riding, etc., you might get this and it just might disappoint you. I really think it might. So I'll put it that way. Now the V11, you see this, guys. Now this is a perfect example of why I wouldn't really mess with this right now. Look at the V11. You get 1,500 watt hours. The suspension on the V11, guys, I like it better. Honestly, you would think, coming from like a motorcycle background, that I would be ranting and raving about this type of suspension on the back right here, this like piggyback suspension that you're seeing, on the Extreme. I haven't tried. I think the Inmotion V14 will be the first company to get this type of piggyback type linkage suspension we're seeing right. A lot of companies have not got it perfect yet. The S22 Pro with the sliders and everything, it's smooth and it works. This is smooth and it works, but for some reason I like the suspension style the Inmotions use, and I never thought I would. When they first came out, I was like, I don't know about that. Having the suspension just like kind of like pogo stick style, kind of right under your feet like that. I just like, man, I don't know about that. But I like it, guys. The V13 suspension is great. The V11 suspension it's awesome. And the suspension, that's why we're seeing this upgrade to where there's a higher peak wattage motor in this, guys, is because people were riding this thing so aggressively. The suspension's so good on this V11, it just needed a little bit more power to it to be able to handle that aggressive braking and stuff on the trails, mainly the hard braking on trails. The only thing they did was add some more power to it. But what that shows is that the suspension was so good it could handle more power. And I really just think that the V11, it really is. If you want an entry-level suspension wheel, you can't beat this. For the price point, guys, at $18.99, if I first got into electric unicycles and I saw this offered, a suspension wheel, for $1,899, I would be all over it. And if I could have gotten the V11, for that price when it did come out, I absolutely would have jumped all over it. I think you get this wheel right here with the E-Wheels warranty, at this price point, and you want to get a suspension electric unicycle, look no further. This is the best entry-level wheel right here with suspension at this price point. Really is. You'll love it, dude. Like, Inmotion wheels are nice, dude. They're nice. They come packaged nice. They're top notch. That's what I think about that. And, man, the price on this is just right. It really is. It's right. So, do what you want with that. But I highly recommend this. Highly recommend the V11. Begode Hero, I just think this is overpriced for the watt hours on this thing. Suspension wheel, tank of a wheel. This has been out for a few years. You don't see much about this at all. I think they probably just have some backstock. I saw a good bit about it when it first came out. Haven't seen pretty much anything else about it since. I don't know if the people that bought the wheel stopped riding it. I don't know what happened with it. But, if you want a underpowered wheel that has suspension that's relatively good build quality, then go with this. You got the metal battery packs on this thing, solid construction, but I just wouldn't pay this price for that amount of watt hours and just to get suspension. I just wouldn't do it. This is pretty much, to put it this way, this is just an outdated wheel now. Begode Hero is just an outdated wheel. So they still got them in stock. If you want to get it, you can get it, but it's outdated. Like, I would still buy like the EXN and stuff, and this is probably more outdated than this. But this is just outdated and overpriced. is the best way I can say that. The Begode here is outdated, overpriced. Now, the Begode EX20S, guys, this is a 3600 watt-hour wheel. This is on the upper level of range when it comes to electric unicycles. And this one is an all-metal build. I mean, if I wanted to compare the build quality of this, it's kind of like the Begode Extreme. All-metal build on this. This wheel's been out a while, guys, so this is refined, but it's, it is what it is. This is, 3,400, so 3,600 watt hours, $3,400. This is what, 3,000 watt hours. Let's look at some other stuff. This is 3,600 watt hours, $4,000. So I'm just trying to put this into a category. This one right here is 3,600 watt hours. And then what, like, batch 4? Oh, we got the CNC parts on here. Batch 4 with the knobby. So Extreme Bull Commander Pro, 3,600 watt hours, batch 4 with the knobby is $3,500. And now let's compare that to this. Okay. That seals the deal. So if I was looking for a 3,600 watt hour suspension wheel, I would definitely get the Extreme Bull, guys. I'd go with this, the Extreme Bull Commander Pro. You got 3,600 watt hours, 3,500 watt motor, good suspension. The suspension I like, that suspension, this under, not that rear, that tried and true suspension. I like this internal. I would get the Extreme Bull Commander Pro over the Begode EX20S. If you're considering the two, I just think, this is $100 more for the batch 4 with the CNC parts. I would definitely get this. I'd definitely get the Extreme Bull Commander Pro batch 4 over this. All right, so now we got the Begode Master. And now this has been one of the top wheels within the enthusiast rider category out there for the past year and a half since it came out. And this wheel, I really think this wheel is one of Begode's best wheels. I'll give it that, okay? From what I've seen about this wheel, I wanted to get one when it first came out, and I still, if I had to buy one wheel from Begode out there, if I had to get one, I would buy the Begode Master because it's priced right for what you're getting, guys. It's 2,400 watt hours on this wheel, 3,500 watt motor. It's 134 volts, and whether you're a street rider or an off-roader, guys, I've seen people in both categories absolutely love this thing. And another reason people like it is because it's a great do-it-all wheel. It's a great hybrid wheel. You got plenty of range in this thing for your group rides. You got plenty of range for long commutes. And it works for racing because it's in that sweet spot, guys. It's not too heavy. It has a ton of power. It has suspension. And I think I'll give it to this. If I had to get one wheel from Begode right now, I'd probably get this wheel. And I don't think you'll be disappointed with this. If you get the Begode Master, I think this is not the first batch. It's not the second. These have been around for about a year and a half now, guys. So this is, they've gotten everything sorted out with this wheel, and this is one I would trust getting. And it's simply because people on the forums, on Facebook, all, the people that have had these tend to really like them. And I'll give it that. So, if I was going to get a Begode wheel, I definitely feel comfortable with getting this. You can get the 40T cells or the 50E cells, guys. I'm telling you, I'm just I like the 50E, guys. I don't know. I like the 50E cells more than the high power range, and it's just because, for the most part, I'm usually a trail rider guy. So unless you're a person out there you get your wheel off the charger, you leave the house, and you are literally riding full speed all out. Like if you're riding like you're late to work every day in the city or something, I would probably get the I'd get the 50E cells for most people. If you ride like a bat out of hell, you get it off the charger and you book out the door and are just gone, and you really just need that high power, for that that safety window, man. If you're really a high power rider, if you riding full speed, then you can get the 40T batteries. But for most people and myself, I'd get the 50E. I just think that's a better all-around option for sure. It just doesn't drain. I feel like they don't drain as fast. I feel like the 40T cells, it's like there's a hole in them or something. It feels like all the power just gets drained somewhere. So, but I think this is a great option. A race wheel. So this right here, let me go over the race wheels real quick while I'm thinking about that. This is a race wheel, the Begode Master, okay? Hands down. The Veteran Lynx is going to be a race wheel, hands down. Going to be a dominant race wheel. The Begode Extreme, I think, will be a dominant race wheel off-road, only off-road. I don't see this beating any of a lot of the other race wheels when it comes to street riding, but it will be a great off-roader or off-road racer. Veteran Patton, great off-road race wheel. Not going to win on street, I don't think. This Inmotion V13, if you can handle the weight, you'll dominate any street race out there. This not really tight. Like if it's like a go-kart track, you're not going to win it. If it's over like a long range and you got like if you were a practice rider and you really practiced hard and got good on the V13 and went to somewhere like Apple Valley Speedway or like an actual speedway like that, where you could really open it up on like the straightaways and keep your momentum up, the V13 would beat every wheel on here. I mean, and you can hold a higher speed on this wheel. The safety margin's higher than any other wheel. You got a huge tire on this thing, a powerful motor. This right here with a really good rider, the Inmotion V13 would, in my opinion, beat absolutely every wheel on this entire page. I really do. And you could argue that the Master Pro could beat it, but I just think this is just too heavy and too big for any type of, I'm talking about like a racing scenario. So yeah, there's not a lot of full-on race wheels, but I think, and you saw that, like there's not a lot of hybrid race wheels. There's not a lot of wheels on this page you could buy and race street and off-road. There's really not a lot. One of the best ones for that would be the Master, straight up. Okay, so just to give it to you, if you wanted to buy your first wheel, have something for street, have something for off-road as well, this would probably be a solid option right here. It is Begode, and I just don't know. They're just not as, if you have to work on this, guys, and you have to open this up and you look at the motherboard and stuff on this, it's just not as good as like a V13. Like if I could choose between this wheel and this wheel, I'd much rather have this wheel over this wheel. But if I was racing, any type of off-road stuff, I don't know. I'd probably, if I was practiced on this wheel, I'd probably like this one over this one. Getting down here, the Begode A2, guys. Now this wheel is literally just priced right to be this is to get anybody out there into the hobby that is looking at electric unicycles, that is like, hey, I want to try that. This is what that wheel is made for. This is, exactly what the wheel is made for. The Begode A2 is, if you have been looking at electric unicycles and you want to buy a new wheel and you don't want to go buying anything used and you just want to buy something new to learn how to ride on and maybe keep for a little while, this is what you want to get. And this is they price this one to do exactly that. You got 750 watt, watt hour battery, which is not a ton. 1,000 watt motor, which is not a ton. But the thing about this, guys, is it's the perfect size to learn on. It's a small, the first wheel I learned on, guys, was a 14-inch electric unicycle, okay? A 14-inch electric unicycle. This one right here is a 15-inch electric unicycle. So it's literally like an inch bigger than the one I learned on. And the smaller electric unicycles, guys, they're easier to learn on because, let me explain it to you this way. A small wheel like this, like the A2, is going to be easier to learn on because it's not a lot of extra weight to have to keep up. When you're learning, you have to hold the wheel up with 1 foot. And if you get a heavy wheel as your first electric unicycle, guys, it's awkward and really hard to hold it up with just 1 foot. And so these little lightweight wheels, they make your learning time just accelerate way faster. And you can get all the basics down and learn if you want to stick with the hobby. You can learn if you want to ever get something faster or better or anything like that. And also, this wheel is completely waterproof, guys. I don't know what type of mojo or what type of, magic they've done with this thing, but it's completely waterproof, guys. There's videos of people literally riding this thing like underwater. I mean, jumping this thing into ponds, riding this thing underwater. I don't know why they can't do this with all the other electric unicycles, but if you are a person that likes to ride near water, if you want the perfect wheel to take fishing, I got a buddy that he uses his M104 as his fly fishing wheel. He keeps it in the truck and goes to all his fly fishing spots with the M104. Perfect for that. But this wheel, perfect beginner wheel, the right price, fully waterproof, and it's going to be the perfect thing to figure out if you want to continue with the hobby or if you like the hobby at all. And that's exactly what this thing is made for. Literally, this is the wheel for, do I want to get into electric unicycles? This is the wheel for that. This is that wheel. And you won't be disappointed. I think it'll be, I think it'll be perfect. If you know what you're buying, you're at $1,000, you're not going to be getting something like a V13. This isn't going to be something that you see me riding flying on like the V13, hitting big, hard rollers, off-road, and being able to handle all that. No. This is literally just to get you started right here. And I think it's perfect for that. And put it this way. Knowing what I know now, if I was sitting, I bought my first wheel back in 2015, guys. And if I was sitting in that same position and I had, the money I had back in 2015 to buy a wheel, my first good wheel I ever bought, I bought an Air Wheel X3. You can look that up. That was my first wheel ever. And then my first actual decent wheel that I bought after that was a 9x1 E+. And, that's an ancient wheel by now. But that wheel was about $1,000 when I bought it. And it had, substantially way lower stats than this thing did. So I'm telling you, you will be happy with this. This thing has way higher speed than my first wheel, has way higher range than my first wheel, and I loved my first wheel. My first wheel went like 13 miles per hour top speed and maybe like 8 miles on a charge, guys. Like in that 8 to 12 miles on that 9x1 E+. It's because I rode at top speed everywhere, so I didn't get a lot of range out of it. But this right here is a perfect entry wheel at this price point, okay? Just know this is the bare bones entry wheel right here. No suspension, bare bones entry wheel. M104, guys, is a little bit smaller. Notice it looks very similar to the A2. If you had the A2 sitting right here, the A2 would be about this big, and the M104 would be about this big, okay? The M104 is a small little wheel, guys. And y'all have seen, I have plenty of videos up about this. I've trail rode this thing. I love my M104, guys. But you got to know what you're getting. This thing is literally, it's a novelty wheel. It's literally like for kids, guys. But I have a friend that got one, and it's his only electric unicycle he has, and he absolutely loves the thing. And I can't get him to get another wheel. He absolutely loves the M10. He uses it all the time and absolutely loves the thing. So, and it was his first wheel, and it's a super good first wheel. It's easy to learn on. The price is right for it, but it's tiny. It's almost like a little toy, but it's powerful enough that a grown person can ride around on it. No suspension, anything like that, but a great little learner wheel. And if you want to get something for your kids, guys, absolutely there's nothing better. If you want to get your kids into EUCs, any kid under 12 could realistically really ride this thing like a actual electric unicycle. Any kid under 12 really could ride this thing like we do on big EUCs. And I've done it. I've taken this thing out and really thrashed on this thing hard, it's a solid wheel. I think it's one of Begode's best electric unicycles. I'll say that, and it's because they're not trying to oversell this thing. It is what it is. It's a small little electric unicycle that works and is fun. It's just a ton of fun. 84 volts, low price, and a ton of fun right here. So this wheel right here, and then all of these, I would put all of these into the same category. The M10-4 is not a realistic beginner wheel. Is it fun? Yeah. Can it be a great beginner wheel? Yeah, for sure. But if you want to get a realistic beginner wheel, just to test the waters of electric unicycles, guys, these are going to be what you're going to want to look at. The 14D, 14S, Kingsong 16S, Inmotion V8S, the V8F, and the Begode A2. Also, this right here, the V10F, I think that's also a good option as well. But all these, if you want to get a realistic, grown-up, big boy electric unicycle without breaking the bank, just to see if you like the hobby, as your first wheel, these right here. This wheel this thing's ancient now. It's been around forever. But you see right here, it has 46 reviews. There's been all these new wheels coming out, recently, but this is the OG starter wheel right here, the Kingsong 14D. And it's because it's lightweight, it's extremely durable, guys. All these wheels from Kingsong that are made like this, in this round, just plastic shell, they are durable as shit. How they created these things, but they are rock solid, man. These wheels are perfect for learning. And they are just that. It's a basic, bare bones learner wheel, and it has the lowest of watt hours, guys. You're at $900 and only 420 watt hours, guys, which is just, this wheel is really not worth it. So the Kingsong 14S, guys, is just the sport model. See that 14D right there? 14S is just like the sport model of the same. You put these side by side, they look identical, basically. This is just, you got more watt hours in this, almost double, you do have double the watt hours, and same motor power. But I would definitely buy this one over this one simply because you have double the watt hours right there. 420 is just way too low for any type of electric unicycle. I can't believe this is still selling for $900. But I mean, that's fair for an absolute entry wheel, I guess. If I was looking to buy an absolute bare bones, entry wheel, and I wanted to get something from Inmotion, guys, and I didn't want to spend the money of like the V11, but I still wanted to get an Inmotion wheel, guys, I would probably get the V10. And I think the V10, I mean, you're at about 1,000 watt hours right here. You're getting an Inmotion wheel. The pedals on this are very high, guys. The Inmotion V10 has, one thing I like about it is it does have high pedals, and that's going to give you a lot of ground clearance if you do want to do any type of off-roading with this. If you want to take this on any trails or anything like that, the pedal clearance is great on this entry-level wheel, and I do like it. The build quality is impeccable for this thing, and at $1,400, it is hard to beat it, guys. You're getting an Inmotion wheel for $1,400, shipped to you. So that's awesome. I really think this is a top-notch beginner wheel right here. If you want to get a real beginner wheel, it's not some, A2 is kind of, it is a beginner wheel, but it's more of a toy than like the V10F. I think if you're really trying to stay under that $1,500 price point and you're trying to get a realistic, good first electric unicycle, the V10F would be my go-to. It'd be my go-to. I mean, seriously, I love Inmotion products, and I'd get the V10F in a heartbeat, for a first beginner electric wheel. For sure. That's a good price. That is really, looking at it now, I mean, that's a solid price for that wheel. That's good. All right. So you got the Inmotion V8F, the V8S, and the Kingsong 16S right here. Now, I personally have a Kingsong 16S, guys, and this wheel, this was, whenever I lived in Denver, this was the most convenient practical city wheel out there for just running some quick errands, running down to the grocery store, having a lightweight wheel. This wheel right here is tried and true. It's a champion, guys. This wheel really is. It's top notch for what it is. This is where I developed a lot of my skills, guys. I developed a lot of my skills of being able to read traffic, being able to understand, how people react to electric unicycles, just really learning the core fundamentals of electric unicycles. And this wheel is, again, it's relatively maintenance free. All of Kingsong's non-suspension wheels, guys, they really have been pretty good. Like this thing, you see 93 pretty much 5-star reviews on this wheel. And this thing it's a champion. If you want a great entry level wheel, this not low on watt hours, 840 for what this is not bad, guys. And it's because you're not going to be cruising around fast on this thing. Top speed is 22 miles per hour on this wheel, but at 840 watt hours, a 1200 watt motor on this thing, you can get plenty of range, and this is just a great inner city wheel to develop all your skills on. It's top notch. These two Inmotion wheels right here, you got the V8S and the V8F, exact same category as the Kingsong. Basically, if you just want to go with Inmotion as opposed to Kingsong on what I just said, then go with this. You see absolutely outstanding, 5-star reviews, 113 reviews right here. It's about 5 stars. But this right here, guys, is just going to be its top speed of 21 miles per hour. The weight is only 33 pounds. It says about 38. Expect about 30 miles of range out of this thing. And that's just slow cruising. But realistic range, guys, about probably like 22 miles, which is good for something you're paying this price for, okay? I highly recommend this wheel as well. I don't think you can go wrong with this. Now, when it comes down to getting this wheel or this wheel, I would go with the V8S, guys. Instead of the V8F, I would spend, the extra $150. You're getting almost 200 more watt hours. I think it's worth it. I think for the 200 more watt hours, I think it's worth it, guys. Out of these three right here, guys, I have personal experience with this wheel right here, and it's been absolutely stellar. But this wheel would also, if you want the bare bones Inmotion wheel, then get this one. If you want an Inmotion product as your entry-level wheel without spending a little bit more to get the V10F, then go with the V8S right here as your bare bone. If you want, dude, this is a nice wheel. Like the lights on this thing are very nice. The build quality is very nice. The whole wheel is nice, guys. Like it really is a nice electric unicycle for this price right here. But this is for people that want an Inmotion wheel that are on a budget and that are just starting off and just want to go ahead and get top quality machine right out of the gate. I would go with this right here. And a lot of people, man, it comes down to within $100 window or so. So if you're on a budget and you want to get into electric unicycles and you've heard me, say Inmotion is outstanding, then go ahead and get this one right here and you will not be disappointed. I think this is a great option. And moving up from there, you got the Tesla, guys. Don't see much of this wheel anymore. This is kind of an outdated wheel now, I will say. The people that have them, they tend to like them. The people that still ride them, they just haven't upgraded in a long time and still talk about them. But I just don't think I would buy this, guys. I just think this is an outdated design, outdated look. One thing I didn't like about the Tesla when I tried it is the pedals are low. The pedals are real low, guys. If you're anybody that likes to do any type of aggressive cornering, any type of off-roading, this ain't it. It's just not it, dude. And, I think the stats are okay. 1,500 watt hours on this for $1,700. But this is the thing, guys. Look at that. That's $1,750. But you can just go up here and get this for a little bit more. And the V11's way better than the Tesla, guys. Honestly, I wouldn't consider buying the Tesla for this price when you can get something like the V11. Okay, Just put it that way. Now, the Kingsong 16X, guys, you see this. I'm just going to let that speak for itself. The 100 reviews, all 5 stars on this wheel. And the people that have gotten this wheel, guys, they love this wheel, the 16X. And it really is, it's a solid wheel. It does everything you need, guys, for an electric unicycle. One thing I love about the 16X, it's a good form factor, man. It fits really neatly in a lot of SUVs, fits neatly in your car, in the side over there. If you want to put it in the passenger seat between the, between the glove box and all that, it fits in there real nicely, guys. And it's just, it's a right size wheel and it's durable. So there's no complaints about this wheel. You can get the 16X AE version. This is like the limited edition gold version. I think the gold kind of looks a little bit cheap, honestly, but it is what it is. I think it looks okay for it what it is. But you can get the classic version right here for a little bit less. But this is the thing, guys. You're getting, all right, 1,554 watt hours, 2,200 watt motor. The thing about this wheel, guys, is it is priced right. I think it is priced right. I think you get a lot of range out of this wheel. But the thing is, a lot of people want to get something that has suspension, okay? And if you want to get something like this, similar price, to this, with suspension on it, you got the V11, and, I don't know. It's such a hard choice between these two. Like if you were on a budget right here and you just had to pick between these two, it would be hard to pick between the 16X and the V11. You're getting about the same watt hours in both of them. Overall, I think let me put it this way. The 16X would be a little bit less maintenance over time. And I think that's what a lot of people like about it. You don't have suspension sliders in there. It's just a simple wheel with a incredibly durable body, man. The body on this 16X is incredibly durable. The trolley handle is nice. The trolley handle on the 16X is one of the best out there by far. It's smooth when it comes up. It clicks into place very nicely. It's big. It's high enough to actually, trolley around without looking like an Oompa Loompa. I really do. I mean, I like the 16X, guys. I think that it's a solid wheel, and you see that in the reviews. I really do. But it's just getting to that point where it's almost about to be outdated, but it's not quite yet. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. I think it's a great option. If you want a non-suspension, low-maintenance wheel, I think it's a good option. All right, so the Inmotion V12, guys, is still one of my top-ridden wheels. Out of all the wheels I have, my Inmotion V12 high torque in specific is just one of my favorites. I don't know what to say about it, guys. It's maintenance free. It really is, like maintenance free. The power is great, and I can trust it. I really do. Out of all the wheels I have, man, like if I want something I can just go grab and I can trust on in a long trail ride or something where I'm going into a remote place or whatever it may be, I just know the V12 high torque is going to work. And my V12 high speed has been fantastic as well. I just like the high torque. I don't know. Something about the way it rides, something about the acceleration, something about it, man. I absolutely, one of my favorite wheels ever. It doesn't have suspension, but it's simple, man. It's literally a maintenance-free, to me, it's been maintenance-free, incredible transportation machine. The V12 is awesome. I got both the high speed and the high torque, and I've had both of them a long time, and they both have given me no problems and work fantastic. So I'll leave it at that. And I think you can't go wrong. If you get the high speed or the high torque, you absolutely can't go wrong. The high torque is a little bit more expensive, and I think that throws a lot of people off, and it throws a lot of people into getting the high speed. But if I had the two side by side and I could pick one to keep, I would keep my high torque, if that helps. Okay, so I like it. I think it's worth whatever. I think it's $200 more or whatever. I think it's worth that. It's like $100 more. $200 more. I think it's worth $200 more for the high torque. But I like them both. Okay, so if $200 is going to be your deal breaker of not getting the V12, then get to high speed if you got to. I've rode a Nikola, and I rode a Nikola around Denver all day one day, and I liked it. I really enjoyed the wheel. I think we got to look at something though. This is a problem, guys. Begode Nikola is only 1,451 watt hours. The good thing about this is the profile though. It's a slim profile, guys. It's a completely round circle like this. So if you crash it, what's going to happen is it's just going to roll. Like all my studio lights have burned out. It's a long video. But if you crash this wheel, guys, it's just going to roll and not going to damage anything really. There's no, like with a square wheel, you can have a hard impact zone. Like on any of these square electric unicycles, when they crash, you got like a hard impact area. With this round wheel, bro, any way you crash, it's just going to roll and not get damaged. So one thing I really like about the round design, I like the lighting of this thing. It's awesome, dude. Like the way this thing lights up, it's sweet, dude. Like out of all the electric unicycles, this one has the best LED lights for night riding. If that's what you want, just let you know. It's cool as shit. It looks cool. So, but it's 100 volts. It's a nimble little wheel, guys. I think it's a great wheel, but I think it's outdated now. I think the ultimate problem with this wheel is it's getting outdated, and it's just too low of watt hours for what you're paying for it, guys. When you're getting a non-suspension wheel like this for almost $2,000 with under 1,500 watt hours, it's just not worth it. Okay, so I would get something that has like this with V11 with suspension, or either you could get, for that same price, you could get like a V12 high speed, which is 1,750 watt hours. Okay, so you can get that V12 high speed for about that same price as the Nikola, guys, and the V12 high speed is, in my opinion, a way better wheel than the Begode Nikola. Okay, and you're just getting more watt hours out of this thing for the price used. And now this wheel, guys, the reason I like this wheel so much, and I got videos, I was one of the first people to test the 18XL when it came out, and it came out a long time ago, dude. I think I was riding this like Christmas of like 2018. That's how long ago this was. This isn't one of your fastest wheels out there. It's not one of your longest range wheels out there, but it is a good electric unicycle for the bigger guys. If you're a bigger guy and you want to get your first electric unicycle and you've seen all these dinky little things, and if you're a heavy set bigger dude and you want to get into EUCs without spending $3,000, this is what you need to get. And that's pretty much that, guys. And even if you're a smaller guy, you'll love it. The trolley handle is nice on this wheel. It comes up really high. The speakers on this thing are awesome. You can rock out. The speakers on this thing absolutely bump. I love the lighting. The LED lighting on this wheel is great. And it rides smooth. There's no complaints, guys. When I had this wheel, I absolutely loved it. I crashed it hard one time, and there was like no damage on it at all. I think the 18XL is just, it's a great option. Only thing is, guys, it's just, at 1,554 watt hours, you could get an Inmotion V12 high speed or the high torque, which is 1,700 watt hours for that price. And I think, if I had to choose now, I would just get one of the V12. I'd get the high speed or the high torque over this wheel. As much as I love this wheel and as much as I have high reviews for it, I would get one of the V12s. Now, the V12 is it's a smaller wheel, guys. It's a smaller wheel than this one. So 18XL, guys, I'll put it this way. This thing is just a low maintenance. It's a tried and true wheel, but I think it's outdated. I really do. I think at this point now, it's outdated, and you can get something, that's better, newer, for a lower cost. So if you're looking at this, I would just advise you to probably just go with a V12. So the Begode Master Pro, guys, this is if you want to get just a 24-inch wheel, guys. This is a huge electric unicycle. This is bigger wheel than the Inmotion V13, okay? And the benefit of getting a wheel like this is it's just going to be a cruiser. If you want something that just can cruise long range, got 3,600 watt hours in there, and you want to get something that is honestly a fair price. 3,600 watt hours, guys, and the biggest wheel, the absolute biggest electric unicycle. A lot of people sit on these things and ride them like motorcycles. If you're looking for something like that, you're looking for something with the absolute biggest tire diameter to roll over potholes and just cruise fast. And the thing about a 24-inch wheel, guys, it feels safe. You can be absolutely going pretty much on a 24-inch wheel like this, guys. If you're rolling at 35 miles an hour, it feels way safer than if you're on like a T4 going 35 miles an hour. Okay, it's going to feel like you could just be a novice rider just cruising elegantly and still be rolling fast on a 24-inch wheel, as opposed to if you get like a little wheel like an Extreme, a T4, something like that. 35 feels fast as shit if you're a new rider, okay? So that's one of the benefits. If you want to get an electric unicycle, if you're a newer person or newer rider and wants to get a wheel to commute on, and you need to keep that speed up without being, without having years under your belt, this right here is a good option, okay? Something like this with a bigger diameter wheel is a good option, just because it feels like you can be really going fast, but it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel scary, and you can really get used to that type of feeling. One of the big reasons I like the V13, man. The V13, it feels safe riding it fast. It feels real safe riding it fast. The Sherman Max is next. Now, this is another 3,600 watt hour wheel, 2,800 watt motor. This has no suspension, guys, but this would definitely be a wheel I would buy. If I did not have my original Sherman that worked, if that thing were to clunk out on me tomorrow, I would definitely buy one of these, just because I love, the OG Sherman does not need suspension for me. I like this wheel even though it doesn't have suspension, and it's just, I love the build quality of it. I love the way it looks. I absolutely love everything about this wheel. I love the headlight on it. Something about this wheel is just, they did this wheel right. And I would get this wheel while you can. If you don't have a Sherman Max and you want to get one and you've been eyeballing it, you can't go wrong. It's been out a while. Or the OG Sherman's been out a while. Sherman Max is newly kind of updated. But I think this is the right price for what you're getting. You see this right here, 4.95 stars out of 43 reviews. I really do. I think this is one of the absolute best wheels. The only thing is it just doesn't have suspension, guys. And you just have to get used to that. And I think now with all the suspension wheels coming out, it has spoiled us, man. But I've done some of my favorite rides I've ever done on the Sherman. I really like this wheel. I'll just leave it. And I think the price is right. I don't think it's too high. You're getting a 3,600 watt hour wheel for under $3,500 made by Leprechaun, guys. So, and the only big difference, guys, they do have the Sherman S. You see that? So this is $3,500, 3,600 watt hours. Go up here to the Sherman S right here. This is $4,000, 3,600 watt hours. Okay. You got to just ask yourself, is the suspension worth $500 to you? And for a lot of people, it is. For a lot of people, it really is worth the $500 more. Okay. And if I wanted to get a new wheel right now, I would get the Sherman S, just because I'd want a wheel with suspension, just because I already have one of these. But if I did not already have an OG Sherman, I would buy this. And this is a great wheel, guys. Great wheel. Just top-notch build quality. And, the right price. Now, the Begode RS19, guys, this dominated the race circuit. Back 2 years ago, this was all you saw at all the races. This was dominating. And it's because it's powerful, it's fast, and it's lightweight. It is exactly what you'd want in a race electric unicycle. The only thing now, guys, is these started getting phased out by the Begode Masters, because the Begode Master just has suspension. And suspension, for any type of off-road racing, you're going to want suspension. To be competitive, because at the speed a lot of guys are riding at, off-road guys, your knees can't keep up to the bumps. The people that were riding these RS19s, it was getting to that point where you just had to be like I mean, your knees and your legs just had to be like jello riding it at the speeds we were racing these things off road. And now with suspension coming out, these things are just becoming obsolete, guys. And a lot of people were jumping these things at the jump parks and stuff, and they're good for that, but you can't land in the flats, guys. Like the suspension EUCs give you a lot of forgiveness if you overshoot a jump or you case a jump, anything like that. Something like this can do it, but you just have no suspension there, okay? And I think now this wheel is out as good as it was, guys, and as great of a wheel as it is. It's just outdated now. It's way too high of a price for what you're getting. You're getting only 1,500 watt hours, and you're paying $2,100, and you're not even getting suspension, okay? So, I mean, is it a good wheel? Yes. Is it worth $2,100 now? Absolutely not. No. So, that's just that. That's the RS19. But it was a good one, man. It was a good one. I will say that. Begode EXN. This wheel right here, guys, I own one personally. And this right here has been a fantastic wheel. I've had it since the EXN came out, probably for about 3 years now. And I got the big old knobby tire on it. I love this wheel. It's 2,700 watt hours is the right watt hours, man. You can go on like a full day adventure on this thing, not really be worried too much about your range. It's not too heavy. It really isn't too heavy at all for having almost the same watt hour. This is getting up there to almost the same watt hours, guys, as like the V13. Okay, but it is way less heavy than the V13. Okay, and that's just one great thing about it. You don't have suspension, but this wheel has a ton of range. It's not too heavy, ton of range, a lot of power, and it's just a great all-around wheel, guys. It's fast. This wheel is still being raced. There's people just last year at AVS that were still racing this wheel on the race circuit. I raced my EXN when we did whenever I went out to California, and I was racing the EXN up against people on the Masters, guys. And that was whenever the Masters had first came out. I didn't have one. There's a few people with them, and this was still, I wasn't up there in first place with the Masters, but it's still a great competitive option for that. And I've always called this is like a good hybrid wheel, man. If you want to do on-road riding, off-road riding, and you want to do, ranged riding and high-speed riding without, breaking the bank, this is a good option. At $3,000, at 2,700 watt hours, it is getting close to being outdated, guys. And for that price, I will say it's getting close to being outdated. But I will say, just because I've had such a good experience with this wheel, I'll still recommend it. I still recommend it. But I will say, do your shopping around, man, because this, it's getting near being outdated for that price. I'll say that. I don't see why this is this price. So I don't know. I don't even know why this is really on here, guys. This wheel is just absolutely... This wheel is way overpriced for what it is. I wouldn't bother getting the original Commander for $4,000. They should do a sale on that thing to get that moving. I wouldn't even consider it for that price, honestly. If you're looking at the website and looking at this wheel and wondering about it, I wouldn't even consider it for that price. I personally I tried a Commander. I had a demo Commander, and it's a great wheel. I personally had the high torque version, and I rode this thing on one of my longest range rides ever in the Rocky Mountains, guys. And if you want just a range wheel, like the high torque, it keeps you tame, because the high torque, you can't go extremely fast on it. So you'll get beeps early, and man, I was able to get insane range out of this wheel. A good range wheel, it's just not worth $4,000 right now. And this would have to go on sale or something for them to even sell these. You'd have to be, I don't know, you'd have to be very naive to buy this right now with all the other good options on here. Full electric unicycle rundown of all the options that are available right now on eWheels. And it does change day by day. Like, for example, the T4 Pro was just announced, and that's not even on the website yet. So it's changing day by day, and I'll do another one of these in a few months. But I wanted just to give y'all a perspective of somebody I've been riding since 2015, and I know it helps for a newer rider, just to have somebody just walk through you with this and, you know, go over all these different models, because it is so hard to pick, man. There's too much on here to go through to make a decision. If you're a new rider out there, like, I wouldn't know what I was looking at if I was somebody that just wanted to get into the hobby. So this is what this video is for people trying to make a buying decision, to help them out, to, you know, hear somebody run through the different specs and different prices, so you can make your best decision. But if y'all enjoyed the video, throw it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. If y'all want to get any of these electric unicycles, guys, please use the link below from eWheels. It gives me a small kickback at no extra cost to you, and helps me keep going on cool rides, getting, you know, new wheels to review, and keeping at this whole thing I've been doing for a while. Gives me some encouragement. So I appreciate it, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Oh, look at that. Check out the chain. Check out the chain.